In new unsealed deposition transcripts for Justin Baldoni, it looks like Stephanie Jones warned him not just against hiring Melissa Nathan because of the sketchy tactics she is known for in the industry, but also warned him that if anyone got word that he hired Melissa, it was going to look bad for him. All right, guys, it is Saturday. I was going to say it's Sunday. I literally just washed my face because I went on a 5K hike with my dogs and husband, and I was not planning on doing a live today. I was planning on doing the members only, but we're going to fit this in quick. We need to be on track today because I am going Christmas tree shopping this afternoon, and I take Christmas very seriously. So I am like sweaty and gross. The snow has got to be like that deep already. It's insane. I am just threw some water and oils on my face and I'm like, let's go, baby. Let's just go. Welcome to the stream, everyone. Thank you, Leo. Yes, like the stream. All right, guys, let me know. Yeah, this isn't set on members only because this one isn't. Members only is at 11. The members only is 100% set to members only. I checked it. So we have this one. We have to be done by 11. And then at 11 a.m., we'll continue looking at more unsealed documents over on the members only live. Okay, let's dive in though. We got to get into it because Ashley wants a Christmas tree today. Let me know in the chat. Am I just very behind? Did anyone else know that Justin Baldoni was warned against hiring Melissa Nathan? Did anyone else know? Now, I have to say this, and I find more people are starting to warm up to this ever since the Rebel Wilson issue and interview with her case with Amanda Ghost. People are starting to warm up to the fact of like something's off with Melissa Nathan. But I do take a lot of slack for it because a lot of people associate her to Justin. So if you say anything bad about Melissa, then therefore you must be saying something bad about Justin. But the reality is, and I think a lot of people forget or just don't know if they're newer to the channel, I work in PR and marketing, and I have public figure clients. So I may just know things. I may just know things, about situations. And let me just say that Melissa is known for having sketchy tactics. There is a reason why Melissa and Jed are in 3 massive lawsuits this year. They are in this one, they are in the Rebel Wilson one, and they are also in the Logan Paul and CoffeeZilla one. They worked for Logan Paul. They're known for kind of the people you go to if you want these websites at the end of the day. Now, you know, what I'm seeing on my post already on Instagram is like, but Stephanie Jones is also sketchy. Well, I'm not saying she's not sketchy. I'm not saying that Stephanie Jones would not do sketchy things. Would she do a smear website? I don't know. Who knows? She may do smear websites, but this is about Melissa. So I don't want to get off track and start making this like an attack on Stephanie Jones, because you cannot like Stephanie Jones and you can think she's sketchy AF and also agree that it was a bad idea hiring Melissa Nathan. Right? And that's what I always hope to have here on this channel is the nuance of like, yeah, I can hold the discomfort of really not liking not liking Stephanie Jones, and also realizing that, yeah, she probably thought right. And this warning was not ill-advised. The interesting thing as well with this is it wasn't Justin. It looks like we're going to read through this. It looks like it was not Justin that had final say on Melissa Nathan. So my question is, who hired her? And when I ask myself this question, so when I go, okay, so Justin says he didn't hire Melissa Nathan, who had final say? We just got the interview with Rebel Wilson, guys. And that's why I think this potentially is going to get messy. We just got the Rebel Wilson interview where Rebel Wilson was like, I didn't talk to Melissa Nathan. I don't know what you're talking about. She worked for my lawyer. So we get Rebel Wilson coming out being like, I never spoke directly with Melissa. I didn't even hire her. I'm wondering, Leo, I'm wondering, was it Brian Freeman that hired Melissa Nathan? Now, let's be very clear. I don't trust Rebel Wilson that she didn't know it was going to happen. I think she damn well knew there was going to be a website. I 100% think she was lying through her teeth, but she might not have been lying about she didn't hire Melissa and Melissa technically didn't necessarily work for her. Jen Abel, I don't think Jen would have the final say, but maybe. I agree. The lesson here is do more research before hiring people. Absolutely. I agree with that. And welcome to the membership. I'm so excited to have you guys. We're going to hang out at 11 o'clock and we will go over even more documents. So welcome to the membership. Make yourself at home, my friend. Okay, let's have a look. It says here, we're starting page 136, but I believe he thought she was very good at her job. So we don't know what was before that. Question, do you know what led him to believe that? Answer, I don't. So we don't know who he is from, I don't know if it was Jamie Heath, Brian Freeman, who knows? So do you know what led him to believe that? Answer, I don't. Question, did you have any personal role in making the decision to hire Melissa Nathan over any of the other crisis PRs that may have been recommended? Oh, let's do this. There we go. That may have been recommended. Answer from Justin, no. I found that shocking. I didn't realize that Justin had no hand in that, in the decision. I assumed he would have had a hand in the decision. Question, are you aware that Jamie got the names for potential crisis communication professionals that he was considering? Answer, I imagine from, oh, interesting. So are you aware where Jamie got the names? And answer, I imagine from Miss Shapiro. Mr. Baldoni, don't speculate. The witness, no, I actually don't. By Miss Shapiro, kind of looks like ... Question, you don't know? Answer, no. Question, do you know if he or anyone else at Wayfair asked Stephanie Jones for her views on crisis communication professionals that you should hire? Answer, I don't. Question, do you know if she recommended Melissa Nathan or not? Answer, if Stephanie Jones recommended, I now know that she didn't. Question, how did you come to that understanding? Ms. Shapiro, Mr. Baldoni, don't answer. The witness, no. Ms. Shapiro, if the information came from your lawyers. Oh, okay, I see. So Ms. Shapiro saying like, don't answer if it came from your lawyers. The witness, yes, I can answer this. Stephanie had texted me or sent me a text about Melissa Nathan. Question, you knew at the time that Stephanie did not recommend that you hire Melissa Nathan, correct? Ms. Shapiro, objection. The witness, I knew that Stephanie did not like Melissa Nathan. Yes. Question, and Stephanie warned you against hiring Melissa Nathan. Isn't that right? Answer, I think you could put it that way with my interaction with Stephanie. Yeah. Question, and were you aware that Stephanie also warned Jamie Heath and Tara Hanks against hiring Melissa Nathan? Answer, I was only aware of what she texted me. Question, Jamie Heath and Tara Hanks never told you that Stephanie Jones had also warned them against hiring Melissa Nathan? Answer, not that I recall. That's interesting to me as well, if I'm being honest. So it looks like Stephanie was warning everyone and no one filled in Justin that he recalls that they were also warned that she was bad news bears. Question, do you have any understanding as to why Stephanie Jones was warning you against hiring Melissa Nathan? Answer, I vaguely remember. I think there was a text message that she sent that said I'm reading it in my mind. There was a word shady in there. And it was like a link to something that I never clicked on. I need to know what this link is. Does anyone know what this link is? Hi, Annie. Are you hanging out with everyone? Yeah. See, Mom built me this really cool thing to play in to try and keep her busy. It's like a box I got from like a parrot website for toy suggestions, and she could care less. She would rather harass me while I try to work. Oh, and to let you guys know, thank you for the suggestion for the wish list for the animal sanctuary. We're putting it together right now. We're just going around checking the things we need. So expect that on Monday when we stream. Because I think Monday I'm pretty clear so far on client work. I'll have the Amazon wish list for the animal sanctuary. And I just wanted to thank you guys for yesterday coming up with that idea because I would have never come up with it. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Winters are always expensive running a farm animal sanctuary. And you guys looking out for us means a lot. So I need to know what this website was. I need to do some research. If anyone knows, please send it to me. But it looks like Stephanie said, don't hire her. She's shady. Sent a link. Justin refused to click the link, which I also think's funny because aren't we all a little bit nervous to click links these days? Every link I click, I think, oh my gosh, is this going to be, the thing that puts a virus on my website or gives Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds access to my files or something? It's a sketchy link that Blake and Ryan sent me. Question, other than the text message you're describing with Stephanie Jones, did you ever have a conversation with her about this issue, whether in person or on the phone? Answer, I don't know. My memory of this time was that there was a lot of messages and I might have spoken to Stephanie. I don't remember the conversation, but felt like a frantic energy from Stephanie. Question, did you give any credence to the information that she was giving you in terms of why you should not hire Melissa Nathan to be aligned with you? Ms. Shapiro, objection. The witness, what do you mean by credence exactly? Question, did you take her concerns seriously? Answer, I believe I did. This is also something that's interesting for me. So if Justin Baldoni did take those concerns seriously, and this is just me thinking out loud, right? If he did take those concerns seriously, then who, don't give them ideas. No kidding. Then who went against that? I feel bad for Justin more than anyone else in this whole thing. I like Jamie. I believe Steve, of course. I believe the Wayfair parties. Well, we already know my thoughts on Melissa. But I believe Jamie, Steve, Justin. But I do think, and we're going to see lower down in this, that Justin was just almost in shutdown over all of this, completely taken aback by all of this, a completely new world to him. And the blindsided's the word I was looking for. And I do believe in many ways he was trusting the people around him to do what they thought was right and to put in place the people that they thought was right. And my heart really goes out to him. I genuinely think Justin was so blindsided by all of this. And I even remember my first time going through a massive, obviously not on this scale, but massive to the industry I was in, cancellation attempt. And it's scary. It shut me down. I didn't know how to handle it. And it wasn't my name splashed across headlines the way Justin's has been. And certainly not for the crimes that he's being accused of. So my heart breaks for him. Honestly, guys, my heart just breaks for him. Thank you so much. I appreciate the support. This is very early in Justin's directing career. It's true. I believe his focus was on the movie product. Love your hat. Thank you. The hat's inspired by Julia, my German Shepherd. She's a sassy little thing, but we always joke that she thinks she's a fucking delight. So that's who inspired the hat. Question, and you can get it in the merch store, guys. If you know anyone that's a fucking delight, grab them a hat for Christmas. Question, did you do anything to investigate them further before you hired Melissa Nathan? Answer, I didn't have any capacity at that time to do personal investigation. No. And it also goes to show Justin, this world is completely new to him. He didn't even know where to start where it comes to investigating someone and looking into their past, which in fairness, investigating PR people is very difficult. You're likely not going to find very much on them. Question, did you relay Stephanie's concerns to Jamie Heath or Tara Hanks at the time? Answer, I believe I did, yes. Question, tell me what you recall about the substance of those conversations or communications. Answer, I remember passing along that Stephanie doesn't like. I didn't know who Melissa was, one of those people. That's what I remember. Question, do you remember Stephanie Jones telling you in sum or substance that Melissa Nathan and the tactics she uses as a crisis communications professional are not the kinds of tactics that you want to publicly associate yourself with? Answer, that sounds very familiar. Oh, and especially with him being an ADHD, he's probably was beating himself up so much around this. I feel so bad for him. Are you aware that Wayfair and you decide to hire Melissa Nathan over Stephanie Jones' objections? Answer, I would imagine so, yes. Look, you cannot like Stephanie, guys. This is what I've said for a long time. You cannot like Stephanie. You could not agree with what she's done, and you can think she's super sketch. This was good advice at the end of the day. And I just feel bad for Justin. He didn't have the final say, and he said he did take her concerns seriously. Misha Piro, or no. I don't know why it's cut off. Misha. Okay, I'm going to show you what's marked as a document, Exhibit 5. Question. It's a text message between you and Stephanie Jones dated July 26, 2024. Bait stamps Jones work _ several zeros, 39735. Is this the text message that you were referring to that Stephanie Jones sent you where she warned you against hiring Melissa Nathan? Answer, it appears to be. Question, and this was sent on July 26, 2024. So does this refresh your recollection that you were considering bringing on Crisis PR before July 26, 2024? Answer, yes. And, what they're probably trying to get at is like, you knew a lawsuit was coming. I obviously, and I'm sure you guys agree with me, don't think this proves that a lawsuit was coming. I think he knew that there was backlash, and he felt he needed Crisis PR to deal with the backlash not backlash. I think he knew that he needed Crisis PR to deal with whatever Blake and Ryan were going to do. Like, he needed to be protected. Also, does anyone remember? I can't remember the date off the top of my head. Does anyone remember when he officially left Stephanie? Can anyone help me out with that? Found it. July 25th, 2024. Wayfair received several Crisis PR recommendations, including Melissa Nathan, a veteran in her field. Abel, having previously worked with Nathan, endorses her. Perfect. Thank you. Hello, Shannon. It sounds like everything on the website about Stephanie was true, creating a crisis so her clients need her, etc. Seems like someone should have warned JB before he hired Stephanie. Yeah, and I mean, who knows? She's obviously had a lot of issues, a lot of problems. But again, it doesn't negate the fact in my mind that it was a bad move hiring Melissa. And like you said, probably also a bad move for hiring Stephanie in the beginning. All right, where were we? Okay, so question. Okay, as you recall, Stephanie Jones sent you a link at the top of the text thread, right? Answer, yes. Question, you said you never clicked on that is... Oh, and it cuts off there. I want to know the link. What is the link? Witness, I don't know, no. So we have a time jump here. I don't know, no, I don't know. Question, because you never asked her what she meant by that? Damn it, we don't know what we don't know, guys. We don't know what we don't know, so we don't know what he didn't know. I hate these time jumps. Don't do it. That's just doing us dirty. The witness, unless you have a document that says I did, I don't feel like I did. Okay, I'm going to show you a document that's been marked Exhibit C. Witness, you got it. Question, it's a text message between Stephanie Jones, Jamie Heath, Tara Hanks, and you. Answer, Question, dated July 26, bait stamp Jones work _JB _ several zeros, 1142. Do you see this? Answer, yes. Question, okay, do you recall this text message when you received it? Answer, vaguely, yes. Question, and in this text message, Stephanie Jones warned you, Tara Hanks, and Jamie Heath that you should not work with Melissa Nathan because there's a lot of dirty work she has done, and it's not someone that you should want in Justin's orb. Do you see that? Answer, yes. Question, okay. And she goes on to say, as read, or for Blake's PR to use as a weapon against him. Do you see that? Answer, I do. Question, did you ever have a conversation with her about what she meant by that? Answer, I did not have a conversation with Stephanie at all around this. Question, okay. Do you have any understanding whether from this text message or anything else that you knew at the time about what she meant when she said, I just downloaded Tara on some dark stuff? I need to know. Did she find the connection to all the smear websites too? Did she find the connection? I need to know. There's quite a few, and I meant to get to one of them this week, another one that was uncovered, but ran out of time with everything I had to get done this week. Welcome to the channel. It's so nice to have you guys join us. We're going to have so much fun on the members only at 11. We'll get through this. We won't be too late. If they had just hired ABE instead, they would be pinned for shady dealings because she has integrity. Aw. That's, that's one of the things that was always hard for me in the industry. And I know I reference him all the time, but even Ryan Holiday, who's someone I've always looked up to in the industry, when he originally wrote his book, Trust Me, I'm Lying, which is like about PR and marketing, he had wrote it in a way to try and like make change in the industry and for things to be done differently. And people were just stealing his tactics, like the shady tactics and the shady shit that was going on. So then he left and now he's in the spiritual realm. But it's just like the whole industry is, I mean, you're spinning a story at the end of the day. Even if and I guess you could probably say the same thing about lawyers, right? Even if your client is guilty, even if your client did something wrong, you're spinning a story. But then the question becomes the lines as well, right? Like, spin a better story for your client without having to create these smear websites. It's just, the dark stuff in the industry needs to be taken care of. It needs to be dealt with. Because I think it just gives the whole industry a bad name. Like, just don't do shady shit. Like, just be good people. Blake, don't be you, Blake. People like Blake. Clean up your act. And PR people need to clean up their act. It's just a disgrace what goes on. Honestly, I don't agree with the smear websites at all. I think there's no excuse for them. Question, did Tara ever relay the substance of that conversation to you? Answer, I think I had a conversation with Tara and Jamie that I didn't want to be part of any of this. So I trusted them to make the decision. I don't believe she told me anything. I feel so bad for him. Thank you so much for the super sticker. I really appreciate it. You guys even every like, every share, every comment, guys, helps the channel, which in turn helps the farm animals in the sanctuary. It means so much to me. So he didn't want to be a part of any of it. I feel so bad for him. I can get that sentiment, especially when you're so overwhelmed. And this is a lesson to anyone else. If your name is going to be dragged into something and you're in the middle of like a crisis, please make sure that you are aware of all these pieces. Because unfortunately, if things go sideways, even if you weren't part of the hiring, unfortunately, like we're seeing Blake do to him, your name gets dragged into it. So please, as hard as it can be sometimes when you're going through a crisis like this, make sure you are involved in every step of the process. Question, okay, do you understand from this text message that Stephanie is telling you and Jamie and Tara that it might not be good for you to be associated with someone like Melissa based on the type of tactics that she has used in the past? Answer, that seems to be an accurate summary. Question, and that if people knew that you were associated with Melissa Nathan, or specifically if Blake's PR team knew or came to find out that you had associated yourself with Melissa Nathan, they could use that against you because of who Melissa Nathan was, right? Shapiro, objection. The witness, I can't speculate to what she meant by that, but it seems to be, she says, Blake's PR team to use as a weapon. So, question, okay, now Wayfair and you. Answer, are you done with this one? Question, I think so. Answer, here you go. Question, Wayfair and you went ahead and hired Melissa Nathan after and despite Stephanie Jones' warnings, right? Shapiro, objection. Witness, I believe so. I mean, seems pretty obvious unless Melissa was working for free. Good morning. So nice to see everyone. Question, and there came a time in August after you had hired Melissa Nathan that the Hollywood Reporter published an article about the fact that you had hired Melissa Nathan, right? Answer, yes. Question, I'm going to show you that article. It's a document we're going to mark as Exhibit 7. Witness, thank you. Question, it's an article from the Hollywood Reporter dated August 14th, 2024 that says Justin Baldoni hires crisis PR veteran amid It Ends With Us rift. Do you see that? Answer, Question, and it goes on to say, as read, the director and stars retained services of Melissa Nathan, who represented Johnny Depp during the Amber Heard trial. Do you see that? Answer, excuse me, on the second page, yes. Question, okay, you were pretty upset when this article came out, right? Answer, I don't remember what I was feeling. He's probably honestly shut down. As a fellow ADHDer, I would have I just remember, again, I can't even compare it to the scale he's been through, but the way you just shut down. Thank you so much, Shannon. I think the purpose of smear website is to get the person being smeared to make a big stink about and create the Streisand effect. That's possible because no one seems to really care about the dumb sites. That's very possible. And did I do a video on it yet? Oh my gosh, I don't think I did a video on it yet. So, well, really quick, thank you for bringing this up because I don't think I've done a video on it yet. So, number one, I think that's such a great point. Thank you for making it and bringing it to my attention. Number one, nowadays, where smear websites are being optimized for is for AI, because you're going to get AI that scrapes websites that are prioritized. And so, if you have like amandaghost.com, that's going to be prioritized. However, the interesting thing, which makes it that much more mind blowing for what's going on in the Amanda Ghost case and Rebel Wilson case, is that what Rebel's saying is, no, I had nothing to do with those websites. They weren't me. I did not hire Melissa Nathan. I did not give her the go ahead to make those websites. I had nothing to do with it. And then I think it's Tara, the interviewer, and I'm not saying the interviewer to be rude. I just can't remember. I think it's Tara, says to her basically like, well, then who did this? She was your representative, Melissa Nathan. She goes, well, no, she was a woman that worked for my lawyer at the time. The crazy thing with this smear website for Amanda Ghost and Amanda Ghost, I think lies.com, it's either amandaghostsucks.com or amandaghostlies.com, is Brian Freeman references those in the cross complaint for Rebel Wilson against Amanda Ghost as proof that there's other people that have complaints against Amanda Ghost. He uses those websites as proof that Amanda Ghost has a long history of being a bad player and a shady individual in the industry, being the Indian Ghislaine Maxwell. And she's trying to flip the narrative to blame Rebel Wilson. Even if Brian Freeman did not have any idea that Melissa was making a website, you can't tell me he's not aware smear websites are a thing, because he's even had one allegedly done against him. So the question then becomes, is the point of these smear websites as character references for or against someone in lawsuits? But then that gets you, and I'm not accusing anyone of that because that's a whole different ballgame. Now you're accusing or like if I was to say he was doing it. But if that's true, if he knew in any way about these smear websites, even if he didn't, even if he's like, don't tell me exactly what's being done. But if there was any indication at all that Brian understood that smear websites were done in the industry and there was a possibility, a potentiality that the Amanda Ghost and amandaghostsucks.com were not in fact real, why did he put it in the cross complaint as evidence? Because that was basically used as evidence that Amanda Ghost is a shady person. And that's why you should believe Rebel Wilson. So that's scary to me. If smear websites are now getting to a point where it's like they're being used as evidence against or for someone in lawsuits, in official legal paperwork, I'm not saying that's what happened, but I am saying that sounds like bad news bears. And it's right there. Like you can see it in it's right there. I'll do a separate. I meant to do, Leo's got my back. Allegedly, just my opinion for entertainment purposes only. We're just playing with hypotheticals. I'm not saying that's actually what happened. And especially with Rebel Wilson coming out and saying, hey, I didn't have anything to do with this. She worked with and for my lawyer. And that same lawyer with his name on it wrote a cross complaint with those websites as evidence that Amanda Ghost is a bad person. And that's why the courts should basically believe Rebel Wilson, because she's spinning a story, Amanda Ghost, against Rebel. That's scary. Like, am I the only one that thinks that's very concerning? I think that's very concerning if those smear websites are, the intent is to help a lawsuit. I don't know. So Justin says, I don't know, or I don't remember what I was feeling. Question, you were worried when this article came out that being publicly associated with Melissa Nathan might make it look like you had something to be guilty for, right? Shapiro, objection. The witness, no, I think I think I was just not happy that my crisis PR was being publicized. I don't think it had anything to do with Nathan, Melissa Nathan. Question, why were you not happy that your crisis PR was publicized? Answer, because it felt like more of the kind of thing that felt like somebody would plant to draw more attention and fan a flame of something. This is how innocent he is. Like, this is how innocent he is. Where he's like, why would they want to draw attention to it? Why would he? Why would they want to draw attention to it? Like, that's how sweet he is. Just so many people around him that were just not good people. Question, fan a flame of what? Answer, to public speculation, the fan theories of why I wasn't doing press with everybody. And question, what were the fan theories at the time about why you weren't doing press with anyone? Answer, I remember. What does this have to do with Justin's case? Where did I say it had anything to do with Justin's case? I'm covering the Amanda Ghost and Rebel Wilson as well. Answer, I remember there being a lot of talk about all of the cast unfollowing me. Why I wasn't doing press with any of the other cast members. I don't remember the date that this came out, but I don't know if I had already done the premiere or not at this point. But I had also never read an article or seen an article about somebody hiring crisis PR, so I found it odd. Oh. He's like, I just trust people. I'm just a good person. I mind my own business. I do my own thing. Like, why would you want more attention on a bad situation? Which also to me shows that he really, and I know we all know that, but just to put it out into the broader world, there's no way he was trying to make this some shady ass shit, because he's like, why would you want to do that? Why would you basically want to put bad energy out in the world and draw more attention to a problem? He obviously never wanted this. Blake, if you're watching, very clearly never wanted this to go public. Very clearly never wanted this to be a problem and out in the news. If you and your husband had just kept your mouth shut and gone on with your lives, but your egos couldn't handle it, could you? Question, and you thought it made you look bad, right? Answer, yeah, I think I did. Question, you thought it made you look like you had something to hide. Answer, I think I had never been involved in anything like this. I wasn't used to seeing my name in the press in this way at all. And I certainly didn't want my name out there in a negative way. I always thought most people were inherently good. Yeah. And it's only been in the past year or two that I've been schooled on that. It's hard when you're an inherently good person. It's really hard to imagine that other people aren't like that. And I think even to this day, for example, when I first started talking about PR on the channel, I was like, I'm going to make change in the industry. And people are going to be able to see, behind all the headlines and question things critically. And in some ways, yes, like I think there's a lot of people that have now seen things very differently and are open-minded and looking for the spin and things. But for the most part, the grand totality of humanity is looking for something at the end of the day to confirm their identity. So they're not actually looking for like, well, what's going on here? We want our identity confirmed. So I don't think anything really changes overall in me talking about PR, to be quite honest, but I enjoy going through the documents and I'd be doing it on my own anyway. So I'll continue doing it. Question, you thought it made it look like you had something to hide that had to do with the allegations of onset abuse, right? Shapiro, objection. We have a couple pages left and then we'll switch over to the members only. Question, which part do you not agree with? Answer, can you ask me again? Question, you left Jones' work to go with Jennifer Abel as a publicist after Jennifer Abel was fired from Jones' work, right? Shapiro, objection. The witness, you do not need that. Can I have that? Annie, why don't you go play with your actual toys? You little shit. Give it back to me. Annie. Parrots. Witness, I don't know the sequence. I know that Jennifer had put in her notice, so I'm confused by the way the question is asked. Question, let me ask it a different way. You left Jones' work to go with Jennifer Abel as a publicist after she left Jones' work, right? Shapiro, objection. Witness, yeah, yes. Question, why? Answer, because she was my publicist for years before, and I trusted her. Question, do you still trust her? Shapiro, objection. The witness, I do. I feel like Justin, he's probably the type that he's going to keep trusting you. Like, and I don't mean that as a slight. I mean that as like just a special human where he's going to give you the benefit of the doubt. Question, okay, have you seen any documents or text messages in this case? Oh, this is heartbreaking. Have you seen any documents or text messages in this case or otherwise where Stephanie Jones is talking shit about you the way Jen Abel was? Answer, I haven't seen any documents about Stephanie Jones in general to my knowledge. Question, okay. Answer, are we done with this one? Question, yes. Answer, okay. Question, are you aware that after Wayfair onboarded Tag as its crisis publicist, Katie Case and Melissa Nathan were joking about whether your faith was a cult? I have no patience for this, guys. There was someone on my Instagram comments trying to justify this. It's like, it's okay because they weren't saying it to his face. So, I say things like this about people all the time behind their backs. And I was like, that's not something to be proud of. Saying that you talk shit about people behind their backs, but you're nice to their face, like, good thing you're behind a burner account because that is not something to brag about on the internet. Are you kidding me? Thanks, Leo. 25 more likes. We can get 25 more likes to get to 100. Annie's screaming over it. She's like, I will stop screaming if we get to 100. No, I can't make that promise. Sorry, guys. I can't make that promise. I wish I could control Annie better than I can. So who is Melissa Nathan? Is she the one who gave Blake Justin's text messages? No, Melissa Nathan is his crisis PR person. So she and Jed Wallace tend to work together frequently. So the thing with me is, I don't understand, to just go back to that, how anyone can justify, like, it's totally cool to talk smack about people and then be nice to their face. Like, I agree. Shady, two-faced liars. And there were other text messages that came out that never sat right with me in regards to these people and how they talked about Justin behind his back. I can't remember now. Was it Jen Abel and Melissa Nathan making fun of him for like being dramatic and, having to go on vacation when his life wasn't that bad or something like that? Like, there were just a lot of text messages that never sat right with me. And so from the beginning with Melissa, even in her interaction and text messages about Justin behind his back, it always left me with an ick. Because I'm not the kind of person that would be saying that. If someone was at my dinner table and they started making fun of someone else because of their religion and calling it a cult, no, that would not fly in my house. It would not fly in people I surround myself with. So for me, this is completely unacceptable. And I do not know how someone can justify that, especially when you're taking money from them and having to protect them. Like, I don't know. It just, that's just me though. JB is the kind of person I would want to be friends with. I agree. He seems like a kind and trustworthy person. I agree 100%. He is the only person between like all these characters. Jamie Heath seems really cool. Steve Sarwitz, a lot of shady ass people going around in this circle. And it's just, I want to see everything unsealed. You want my honest opinion, and people might be pissed at me about this, but I want to see everything unsealed because was maybe potentially other, Stephanie was telling people like the truth, like, shit, you got to stay away from these people. Like, it's going to go bad. It's going to go sideways. I want to see it all. I want to see the messages between Blake and Tay and Ryan and Blake. I want to see it all. I want to see it all laid out. I am so pissed this isn't going to be televised. Okay, so Melissa and Katie were joking about whether his faith was a cult. He says, I was not aware. So he didn't even know up until this point in his deposition. We did it! 100 likes. Yay! Thank you, everybody. He didn't even know up until this point that Katie and Melissa were joking about him being in a cult. Oh, yeah. I think it's going to confirm how bitchy they all are for sure. I almost didn't recognize you. Your kitty's so cute. 100%. There's going to be so many people exposed, and I know Swifties are going to get mad at me for saying that, but there's going to be so many people exposed. I want to see it all. I know you guys do too. So he wasn't aware. Question, what do you think about that? Ms. Shapiro, objection. The witness, well, I think anytime somebody makes a religious joke, I think that's not okay. It seems to have happened a lot in this case. Does that not break your heart? I would have cried too. Can you stop yelling in the mic? No one needs your 2 cents. No, because we can't understand you anyway. We don't know what it means. Thank you. You don't like Blake. We know that. Yeah, I would have felt so betrayed. I would have broke out in tears. Oh, but he's not allowed to cry. Remember, Blake Lively guys told him he's not allowed to cry anymore. Imagine the trauma from dealing with these people. I would have broke out in tears here. So he says, well, I think any time somebody makes a religious joke, I think that's not okay. And then it seems to have happened a lot in this case. Question, including from your own publicist, it seems. It's like, you don't have to rub it in. He's intelligent enough to put 2 and 2 together. You don't have to rub it in. You don't have to keep going at it. Maybe crisis PR people have to tap into the lowest common denominator to get in the mindset of how the public could spin something, hence the jokes. I don't know. The messages I've seen from Melissa are just her being an asshole. When they're making fun of him about going on vacation and, your life's not that hard and I wouldn't want to kiss him either and all that stuff. Ugh. I don't know. The witness, if you want to show it to me, I'd be happy to see it. I haven't heard anything. This is the first time hearing about it. Poor guy. Question, sure. Tab 139, please. Is this right in? Yeah, it continues. I'll show you the document that's marked as exhibit. So it's 13. Question, it's why? I just feel bad. I wouldn't want to see it. I would burst out into tears here, by the way. I would legitimately burst out into tears here. I wouldn't want to see it. If they're like, do you want to see it? I'd be like, please no. It's a text thread between Katie Case and Melissa Nathan from August 4th, 2024 with the bait stamp Nathan, several zeros, 2938. Answer, okay, sorry, there's one more page. Question, have you seen this before? Answer, I have not. Question, were you aware that Katie Case and Melissa Nathan were texting things like this about you while they were on a call with you? So they were on a call with him while snarkily texting about him being in a cult? What? The witness, I was not aware. And then it ends. Wow. That's just, lawyers are doing this to get him to turn on them. Maybe, maybe not. But either way, like, I've said my 2 cents on what I think about them. So thank you so much for the support. I feel so bad for Justin. Yeah, maybe so terrible, all of it. This whole thing is just devastating. To me, there's no excuse for any of it. And my heart's just broken. I don't know what else to say about it, to be honest. My heart's just broken. I can't imagine in a deposition hearing that. And he's someone that trusts people. He's someone that genuinely sees the good in people. And he's just been kind of kicked over and over. Like a puppy that everyone's taking turns kicking. Like, it's just which, I mean, you have to be a special kind of person to do that in the first place, obviously. But I don't know how people do this. I don't know how people do this. I don't know. I don't even know what else to say. We have to get on the members only anyway, but I don't know what else to say because it just breaks my heart. I think I'll always stand firm on the fact I don't agree with the tactics Melissa, Nathan, and Jed Wallace do. I've been saying that for a very long time. Regardless of the backlash I get around it, because I do get a lot of backlash around it. I don't agree with the tactics they use. I think they give the industry a really bad name. Now, does this mean? Now, here's the thing. People go into whataboutism. Whataboutism is one of my biggest pet peeves in debates. Well, what about Stephanie Jones? Or what about da 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 da? Well, you can hold nuances of like Stephanie Jones is not a good person. And I think it's pretty well known. I've even read the Stephanie Jones smear campaign websites on this channel. So we have content around that. We've gone through all of the websites before they were taken down. I don't think she's a good person. Whataboutism, though, is moving goalposts. You can stay on one thing and be like, yeah, this is shady as shit. You shouldn't be running these things. You shouldn't be making smear websites about people. You shouldn't be doing these shady tactics. If you can't do things properly, then maybe don't do them at all because you give the entire industry a bad name. So I have issues with them to begin with. But overall, I genuinely feel, and I saw someone saying about Justin doesn't micromanage or something. There's a difference between micromanaging and being in control of who's hired. Like I run multiple businesses and I work with high profile individuals as well as in branding and marketing as well as newer entrepreneurs. It would never be my advice ever to a client, even if they hired me for branding, of like, yeah, just trust someone else to do it. Because this is the shit that happens. If he genuinely was like, ooh, I don't know, I have reservations about her, but you guys deal with it because I'm too stressed out and I can't handle this. But he actually wasn't wanting her to be hired. Well, he's dealing with the repercussions of that. Like you have to keep in mind, guys, for anyone that like, well, and I get it. I do empathize quite significantly with him. But I just wish someone was like, no, you have to make a decision. You can't pass the buck here because if things go sideways, your name's on it. And that would be the advice I would give a client. It is not micromanaging to be in control of your business. And when you are a personal brand, and I'm saying this to everyone here, if you are building a YouTube channel, if you are building a podcast, a spiritual coaching business, a course creation business, whatever, things that you're selling on Etsy, you are a personal brand, which means you have to treat your personal brand like a business, or it's not a business and it's not a personal brand. It doesn't mean that you have to do the same type of PR and branding and marketing as everyone else. What you want and what's acceptable for you and how you handle things is going to be different than everyone else. It's unique. And you have to be in control of it. And I just feel bad that no one said to him, I get it. You're going through a lot and you got to be a part of this discussion. If you're not comfortable, make it be known. I just feel bad for him. But when you're a business owner, which a personal brand is a business, this is what happens when you don't, it obviously wasn't because he was trying to pass the buck or anything, but when you don't draw your line in the sand, because your name's going to be involved. And, maybe he does, I don't think he's going to say it publicly, but maybe he does regret that they were hired. Maybe he genuinely does. I mean, I would if they were saying those things about me and all of this happened. And it's going to be a hard lesson. But I just wish someone had told them, like, Justin, no, like your voice matters. You can do hard things here. I know you're stressed. I know it's difficult. I know this is a situation that you've never been in before and you could have never fathomed being in. And your voice matters. If you feel something's off or you want to go in a different direction, speak up. I just wish he had someone to have said that. So, yeah, I agree with this. Justin Wayfair need to learn from this. Yep, they're in a cutthroat business. They can never allow someone like Blake Lively to take over a project. I agree. It's a hard It's a hard lesson to learn. And we've all learned the hard way. Trust me. The only, one of the things for those that follow human design, like I'm a 4/6, Justin's got a third line in his. So like trial and error is a part of our journey. I'll never forget the first time. I'm going to tell you guys a quick story, then we'll swing over to the members only. Everyone learns the hard way. Even like since the moment I started my business, I've always had mentors. No matter how much I know, you always have mentors because you need someone that's outside your own head. And one of my mentors was like, you've got to trademark your shit. And I kept putting it off. I had like this name of a framework, even my podcast, right? The brand by design, which I don't use or I don't update it anymore. Actually, funny story, accidentally deleted it. But that's a whole other story. It was not intentional. And so I had brand by design. I had the brand new blueprint, and my mentor at the time, she's going, Ash, you have got to, Annie, you're being very sassy today. She's like, you've got to trademark this. Like there's just bad people in this world and someone's going to take your shit. Sure enough. So I was working with someone hired me. We worked together for 6 months. Guys, when I tell you the text messages I had with this person that was going on and on about how I changed their life, how I changed their brand, they're like, I'm going to send you a gift, all this stuff. So she sent me this big thank you gift, how I changed her entire perspective, how I changed everything. Like it was just like on and on and on. And so anyway, I was really busy. So I hadn't touched base with her for a while. And then someone sends me a message and goes, didn't you work with so-and-so? And I said, yeah. And they're like she was your client, right? I said, yeah, why? And they go check out her branding right now. She had taken everything. My podcast name, she switched it slightly. I'm not going to say exactly what it was because it'll be too obvious, but she took my podcast name. She took my branding. She took the copywriting, everything. And I could have gone to court, but honestly, at the end of the day, I was like, it's really not worth it. I didn't want the stress of it at that time. It was a hard lesson. I had to chalk it up to a hard lesson, but she took everything. And it was a lesson to trademark shit. Now, even with myself or my clients, I'm like, trademark it. They have like a framework, trademark it. And they're like, I'm just conceptualizing it. Just trademark it. People are bad people. So anyway, that's my story on sometimes we have to learn the hard way. And that was a hard lesson for me because I always come back to this place of like, people are inherently good and people would never do that. And people would never steal from you. But like all my intellectual property, and it was funny because it was around the same time or shortly after that this happened oh my gosh, I have like a dog here. It's floating in my eye. It's driving me crazy. In 2024, when I had like 300 videos just teaching human design on this channel, and I got people that were messaging me and saying, hey, thanks for all the content you create. I've actually been taking it all and creating courses on it. So my business has grown based on what you've put on your YouTube channel. So yes, the lesson is that people are not inherently good. And then I went on like a rampage and deleted everything off of YouTube. So all those videos are gone, but people are not inherently good. And sometimes, unfortunately, you learn the hard way. And I feel bad for Justin because I think they learned the hard way. And I definitely think Justin will be involved in every hiring decision from here on out. Yeah, I was like, what am I supposed to say to this? You're welcome. Like you cannot steal people's content and sell it. What are you talking about? But yeah, it was a wild. That was that led me into the end of 2024 where I was like, screw all of this. And I took time off, and then this whole thing fell on my lap, and then here we are. So maybe everything does happen for a reason. So we wouldn't be here if I wasn't like, screw y'all. I deleted everything from YouTube. I stopped taking on clients, but yeah, you learn the hard way sometimes. Welcome to the YouTube membership. That's a good reminder for me to get off of this video so we can go on to the membership video. All right, guys, with that said, welcome to all the new members. I'm going to hop off, give me a couple minutes, and then we will start the other stream. We'll go into some more files or documents that were unsealed, and we'll just chat and hang out. Oh, I also have pulled up for the members only Brand 24. We're going to look at what's going on with like Ryan Reynolds and Tay Tay and all of them in terms of their social listening right now. So we'll have a look at the PR side. All right, my friends, thank you for hanging out with me on your Saturday, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.